Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin tonight with a story you will only see here on Fox 61, a milestone for tenant unions in New Haven. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. After years of trying to get their management company to offer them a fair lease, well, tonight they feel like they're closer to reaching that goal.
Fox 61's Jake Garcia was at tonight's rally and joins us now in studio with details on what happened and what's next in the process. Jake.
Well, Brent and Sarah, what started out as a protest ended with celebration as the Ocean Management Company and Farnham Realty Group agreed to sit down with tenants in New Haven to begin negotiating a fair agreement.
What kind of power? Union power. What kind of power? Union power.
Wednesday's rally was a call to action to demand Ocean Management and Farnham Realty Group to come to the negotiating table. This comes as tenant unions have been demanding Ocean Management engage in negotiations for nearly 2 years to make living conditions better for renters and eliminate no-cause evictions at various apartment complexes in New Haven. One union was successful in entering an agreement, but the others were shut out.
Those unions who were promised that meeting have been reaching out, trying to sit down with the landlord to negotiate an agreement. That meeting has not yet happened.
Shortly after the rally started Wednesday, the group received welcomed news.
We're very, very pleased to report that Shmulik Eisenberg, the owner of Ocean Management, reached out to the leaders of our unions earlier today and agreed in writing to commit to a collective bargaining process with all three unions that do not yet have an agreement with the landlord.
That includes rescinding 2 no-fault evictions, allowing those families to stay. A Connecticut court recently ordered that the Farnham Realty Group step in as Ocean Management gets out of debt at 1455 State Street.
That Ocean Management owes so much money on that building that the court has placed it into a temporary receivership. What that means is that an outside third-party entity takes over collecting rents and managing the building until the debts are paid.
Schreier says this goes to show the power of tenant unions.
The reason that the threat of a protest was enough to kind of activate folks over there at Ocean was because members show up every day. They show up for their neighbors, they show up for their union, and when it's time to really hold management accountable, they're ready to do it.
Now, union leaders say they're hopeful for a productive meeting, which is set up for sometime next week. In studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, thank you. Time now for a first check on the forecast. And I guess at some point we're going to have to start talking about the lack of rain. But for now, we just got really a beautiful stretch of weather.
I know.
Right?
I don't really want to complain about it because it is just so nice out there. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Hi, Rachel.
Yeah, that is the only bad thing about this week. But if you've got outdoor plans and activities, you've got stuff you want to do in your backyard, this weather has been absolutely perfect for all of that. And it will continue right through this weekend with bright sunshine, but we are talking about some warmer temperatures, especially Friday into this weekend when it will once again feel like summer. All right, a quick pause on our weather. I wanted to get you up to speed on Hurricane Francine, which made landfall as a Category 2 hurricane on the shoreline of Louisiana. The storm has now been downgraded to a Category 1 hurricane. You can see all of that heavy rain that is still coming down and still ongoing storm surge as well. The storm's remnants are not coming to Connecticut. It looks like a big ridge of high pressure will end up blocking that rain as it tries and fails to come north. Low temperatures tonight in the 50s, 40s for Windham and also for Norwich, and a big rebound by tomorrow afternoon after a cool start. We're up near 80 in Wallingford, upper 70s in Guilford. We're looking at a high temperature of 78 in Tolland and Mansfield, 74 in Waterford, and a high temperature close to the 80-degree mark for Higganum and Durham. This is just a sample of some much warmer temperatures ahead for Friday into the weekend. We'll talk about it. We got some pool and beach weather in the forecast if you want it coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, just days into the new school year, and already local school districts are having to address online threats.
Just today in Wethersfield, a student found a video on TikTok where someone was supposedly threatening Emerson Elementary School. The video got passed around quickly before someone called police. It turns out the school at the center of the video is in Georgia. The police department there had already made arrests in connection to that threat. Wethersfield Superintendent Michael Emmett used the district's parent communication app to keep families informed.
And it's very difficult to deal with the crisis situation when you're dealing with a lot of erroneous information. And I think that for us is incumbent upon why we need to make sure that we're communicating out as quickly and accurately as we possibly can.
Weathersfield isn't alone. There have been a series of Connecticut school districts facing threats of violence, all originating on social media. Also today, the North Haven high school and middle school campuses, students had to shelter in place. A student overheard another student tell someone to bring a gun. Police determined there was no actual threat. The head of Connecticut Superintendents Association says despite the fact the majority of threats turn out to be not credible, they have to follow up on every single one.
When there was a threat, or bomb threat, whatever, I met with the police chief immediately, and they took over. I followed their protocols.
Also today, West Haven police received a call that someone was at Savin Rock School with a gun. School grounds were put on lockdown. Police investigated but found there was no serious threat.
A new at 10 tonight, Bridgeport police are investigating a homicide. It happened around 5:45 tonight near Spring Street. Police say they found a man lying in the street with gunshot wounds, and that man later died at the hospital. The identity of the victim is unknown at this time, and there is no word on a suspect right now. Police tell us Spring Street is closed between East Main and Kossuth Street while they investigate.
Meriden police arrested 2 people accused of abusing multiple children. 31-year-old Dorca Otero and 29-year-old Quinnen Jones face allegations going back to November of last year. The victims were reportedly between the ages of 4 and 9. Police say the abuse was both sexual and physical. The pair was arrested Thursday. Both are charged with cruelty and risk of injury to a child. Jones is also charged with first-degree sexual assault.
Another state worker has been hurt while working on an interstate. Police say the driver of the car that hit the worker has been arrested and will face charges. It happened yesterday at 6:30 on I-95 northbound, just south of exit 92. State troopers say Julio Macancella of Danbury hit a construction worker while driving a pickup truck. The worker only suffered minor injuries, but police say Macancella never stopped and drove off. Rhode Island State Police arrested him a short time later. They say he was driving drunk.
A Yale police lieutenant's facing assault charges tonight. Stratford officers arrested 58-year-old Roosevelt Martinez about a week ago. A witness said she found the lieutenant's wife badly injured in the face and she was walking funny. She and the local liquor store clerk called the police. Our team read through the arrest warrant and we found there that the wife says this has happened before.
Any woman getting beat up by a man is terrible. But when you learn that it's an officer, someone who's trying to or supposed to be protecting people, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Yale University confirms to Fox 61 Martinez is on paid administrative leave. Martinez has a court date set for next month in Bridgeport.
An employee in the Rams School District has been fired for allegedly misusing funds. The district's superintendent says in a letter that an investigation found the employee was buying personal items with funds meant for school supplies. No word on what position the employee held or whether they face any charges tonight.
Developing news now. Strangers helped save a man from a sinking car in the Connecticut River. This happened around 4 o'clock today at the Riverfront Park in Glastonbury. Firefighters say one man was in the car when it went down a boat ramp. People nearby saw it happen, got him out of the water. He was taken to the hospital. Multiple agencies are at the riverfront figuring out how to safely now get the car out.